So something went wrong, and what exactly happened? The moment I moved, everybody can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this nonsense happened just now, and it's simply because the plug of the electricity of the system just got disconnected, and because of that. So something like this, which just happened as an example, should not happen for you. I mean, when you are interacting online, because there would be a stipulated time, and during that time, if something like that happen, is a bad. So very important is setting up the camera. So as I said that the laptop is the best, I have also got something to show it to you people. Now this is a small table. I have used this table very often just to get my eye level done when I have a laptop. Right now this is a desktop system, so it doesn't need it. But laptop sometimes do need a eye level. So make sure that your camera has to be eye level. Many a times I have seen people using a low angle kind of a thing. Low angle in the sense, if I put my camera below, just a moment. So if I have a mobile phone and if I'm using a camera, so if I put it like this, it would be a low level. Low level shows the chin, nostrils. It is not advisable. So make sure that your camera, as I said, don't use a mobile at all. Very often I'm again and again saying many people commit this mistake because it becomes difficult to load some document, show some of your work, because it will not be just a talking, it will be interacting also with you people, where particularly for acting student will be a tough exercise this time. So rest of the people can still manage. So that's the one thing. Setting of the camera level. Eye level is the term which is very often you need to remember. And not everybody is from cinematography course, or so rest of the people need to be very careful when you are setting up the level. Also, you need to see that there should not be too bright an object. For example, if on my left and right, you could see a bright object. Now, what I do is, now I change the system and it looks little better because it is of a bluish color. Right side, I have deliberately kept that lamp so that to get some brightness. But if there is too much of brightness level, since the level on the foreground is much higher than the background, so it is not looking disturbing. But normally I've seen a tube light over there, some bulb over there, some windows open, or some door from where the sunlight is coming. So it is very distracting. That make sure that your background should be darker than your face. So wherever you position your setup, I mean to say whether it's a laptop or whether it's your desktop, see to it that there has to be a nice backdrop of your house, not of some pankha, a fan is coming out of your hair and things like that. So these are small things which counts particularly for people who are from direction. The sense of framing is a very important thing. And that is also valid for cinematography, more for cinematography than anybody. We'll be talking all those things in a specific course section. Sound level. Now, if you're not able to hear me, what is the point of having some nice visual? So make sure that the level of the audio level, whether you use a headphone or whether you use a lapel mic or whatever mechanism you use it, see to it, your sound quality has to be very good. Another thing is no disturbance of nearby. Nearby in the sense something is, a machine is going on in the backside, or some road is there and you're very close to the road. So you hear the very often the sound of the traffic. All these things should be avoided when you are having a interaction, online interaction. And most important thing is the connection, internet connection. Your connection should be really stable. For some reason, there is the battery of the mobile is gone. If it is connected with the mobile, for example, or some reason that the connection goes off. So even if it is a desktop system, make sure that it has to connect it with the UPS, and UPS should be connected over there. So at least 20 minute, 30-minute backup is always there. So these are small things you need to be careful about it. I have seen people taking it very lightly. Muh dhoya, baith ke computer ke aage. You know? So see to it that you, particularly boys, shave it properly, dress up nicely. It should not look like a bed mein se utke samne aa gaya. I know many people. They are so casual, they are so relaxed, they think it is a joke happening over there. So if you are, of course, if you are wearing a chappal, nobody is going to look at your chappal. But I've seen many people in a physical interaction in FTI, when I used to be a student, some of the students were very casually dressed, coming into the chapel as if they have not taken a bath, and you could feel it. You have not entered so far. Once you are entered, then you do whatever you want. But till the point you have not entered, you have to be very, very careful that nothing should piss them off. If they get pissed because of whatever reason, like one of the students woke up at 12 o'clock. He said, where is the link? Could not you ask 10 minutes before? For example, he did not register. How do I know you are being selected? So these are small, small things which prove your intelligence. Now, what they are looking at is, are you a disciplined student? A. Very important thing. Are you a disciplined student? 2. Are you intelligent? That's how you prove your intelligence and all. Somebody waking up at 12 o'clock, asking where is the link, shows how disciplined he is. Okay. Somebody who's really bothered about it, he would be registering, he would be asking a link 10 minutes before for some reason. Sometimes it goes to the spam or whatever reason. So every small thing counts. Every small thing counts. Because it's they who are going to decide. If they don't like something, you are out. And you can't see. The problem is you never come to know that what offended them. Sometimes you do things which you don't take notice, but it offends them. So question is how you would prove your intelligence. How can you prove you're intelligent person? Disciplined, I still understand, coming on time, sending the details on time, whatever they are asking, sending on time on an email, checking it up, each and everything you can still do it, but still, how do you prove your intelligence? And they have their own mechanism to find out. Now, what this mechanism is going to be, we'll be talking in a domain-specific cases, not in journal. So in journal, they would be looking, are you intelligent fellow? A. What would happen in journal? If you know something about the FTI process, 6-month course is a common course for everyone over there. Even if you are doing an acting course for 2 years, 6 months is common for everybody. It means you need to understand about lighting, sound recording, camera, script writing, little bit about direction, little bit of everything. It's like a Marathi thali or Gujarati thali where you have each and everything, and it's as simple as that. So everybody is supposed to know few things. That is what their expectation is, even if you're from acting course or a direction course or whichever course. So there would be certain things which will be common. For example, film appreciation. Film appreciation is something which they expect from everyone. Everyone means everyone. Even they might show you a short film over there and ask you to write an interpretation. What have you understand out of that short film? They might show you a clipping to ask about a performance, even if the performance is already being discussed in the written examination. There are few things which are discussed in the examination, particularly your domain-specific descriptive part. But it does not mean they cannot ask again the same thing. They can ask again the same thing, irrespective of the fact it is already being discussed, but not in a way which should be discussed, because there are so many things about a particular domain which they wanted to know, but they may not have asked all those things in the examination. They have asked some selected questions, and some of you were able to do good, some not. Some could secure more marks in MCQ and MSQ, not into the descriptive. But now they would check your understanding about whatever you have seen, whatever you have read, whatever you have read, whatever you have seen, whatever you have watched. It could be anything. For example, somebody is a singer, for example. Now, singing is not a quality which is required in any of the course, if you carefully notice it. If I'm a singer, singing is not any requirement in any course, because it's not a course of singing. But for example, if I talk about singing, and if there is a teacher over there who understands a little bit about singing, about the ragas, about so many things, so he will figure it out whether you're trying to fool or whether you are honest, whether you have really picked up those things properly or not. So anything which you say, you should know it. Don't try to impress by throwing some names which you don't know. Very often I have seen, particularly in acting course, oh, I do theater. It's a very common thing people very casually says. And they must be working with some group over there. But have you understood about theater? Have you seen the theater of some people? If I say I do theater, it means I also have seen some productions by some reputed groups. So have I seen it? If I have seen it, then I should be able to discuss that. I should be able to talk about that. Only then it makes sense. Otherwise, just name dropping will not help. Many people do the name dropping and they are drop out from the list. So these are the small things. Portfolio is something which people are really worried about. Oh, I don't have a portfolio. Fine. Even if you don't have a portfolio. For example, if I'm a direction guy, I don't have a portfolio. I haven't made a short film so far. But can I still be listed over there? For example, can I still be shortlisted? Yes. Even if the SRFTI would start from tomorrow for the direction course particularly, I could still write a short story or say a script of a 1-minute public service ad film, which we will be talking in the afternoon session. So I don't want to taste here. So even if now you don't have a portfolio, there is no point of getting panic because you can't make a portfolio in a day or two. Okay. So since it is SRFTI which has started the things, only for 2 particular courses, sound recording and direction and screenplay writing is happening from tomorrow. Rest of the courses still have a time. So the courses which still have a time, you could still develop your portfolio. There is enough number of days. And since FTI has not declared their list in terms of the dates, and there will not be clash at all for sure. So for FTI, you still have a much more time to make your portfolio. Smaller the portfolio, better it is. If your film is 20-minute long film, nobody's going to watch it. So what you can do is you can cut it down short to 5-minute, 3-minute, ideally speaking, not more than 5 minutes. Anything which is more than 5 minutes, people are not going to watch it and they are not going to see it. Most probably, I'm saying. So make a shorter version out of that so that now they would be asking you to submit your portfolios, etc., etc. One thing which is very important is your political views. Some people have some political views in their life. Oh, they are leftists, they are this and they are that. Fine. Whatever you are, it's okay. They do not want a student who is going to create trouble over there. Anyone who is some revolutionary kind of a boy, sorry, they will figure it out. So if some of you was president, vice president into the student union of your college days, don't commit a mistake of mentioning over there when they talk about that. Because if they find out that you was a vice president to the student union, which means you will create some trouble here. If by mistake somebody is an advocate among you, don't tell them you graduated, you did your graduation and then 2-year law, something which is going to be a problem for them. They do not want those students. They want the student who come there, study there, pass out, whatever revolution you want to do it into the cinema, not into the institute, because they have too much of a problem in the past. 3-year courses has become 6 years and so many strikes on and off. So anything which is a little politically alert, if they sense that you are going to be some troublemaker, even if you are best of the mind, even if you are best of the capabilities, you would be out. Does not mean that you should not voice your opinion. Please try to understand the difference. For example, if you are a direction student and I want to understand your views about PM Care Fund, I'm just randomly picking up an example. What is your views on PM Care Fund? So you have to say something. You can't say, oh, I never heard about it. So if you never heard about it, this is a high time you need to upgrade your general knowledge. And it was a big issue at the time when it was announced, because there was already a PM Relief Fund existed. When a PM Relief Fund existed for ages, what was the reason to start a new fund called PM Care Fund? So a lot of people have the objections, A, B, C, D, E. So having an opinion is a very important thing, but there's a difference between politically activated, politically little more, I would not say correct, but that you might be a troublemaker over there, if they could sense it. And that's the purpose of the director's interview. Director is not interested about your cinematography, editing, sound recording knowledge. That knowledge would be checked in the 4 days by the domain expert. He is only interested whether you are going to be a catalyst in having a strike over there, whether you are going to create a problem over there for them. That is what his primary interest is. So be careful about that element. It happens many a time. people get little carried on about the political things. So you have to be very diplomatically make your statement, at the same time maintaining a very neutral overall view in the sense ke connected. Normally they don't ask, but in some way or other they could figure it out if you are going to be a troublemaker or not. That's another thing. Statement of purpose, that is very important for everybody. Why you want to get into this acting or direction or cinematography or sound recording or editing? Now you have your own reason. Everybody has their own reasons. I'll give you my reason why I went into the, for example, photography. I'm quoting a rough example. In our school, there was a choice between photography and electronics. So we opted electronic. Photography was very expensive. You should have a camera and this and that. So these photography students will show their large negative in the class, and they were like stars, and we were like children of a lesser god. We don't know how this magic is happening and all that. So it was a kind of a curiosity for me. When I went to the graduation, I didn't learn the photography. Some kind of inferiority complex I also developed because of these boys in the class. And then I said, okay, I will learn photography. It's interesting. So somehow from the classroom, it started. Okay. And then I learned the photography. Then somebody, he said that if you really want to make money, you have to be in the advertising or you get into the cinematography. Advertising needs some money to have a studio, to have a large camera. The Sinar was the big camera, large formatted by 10 camera. In those days, it was very expensive. So I thought cinematography is better because at least I will not be able to invest that kind of money. I applied, qualified, got into it. So everybody has a honest story why you want to get into it. And that is the purpose of statement. If you copy and paste from Google and here and there, it is their statement. It is their purpose of statement. For example, I made a documentary for PSBT called All Time Blues. It's about band bajawalas. So how I got interested in that subject? You also have to write that thing into the purpose, this purpose statement in whenever you are applying for a funding. So the place where I was living has a little temple, and all these women will come for Kuwa Pujan or some marriage or something. Every third day there will be a band procession going on in front of my house. So somehow I got interested. Later on, when I was thinking of a subject, all of a sudden I realized, oh, that was something very interesting. So what motivated you to choose a particular subject? That is something which you need to mention over there. And as I said that this could be no need to just do the Google business. You have to be honestly writing whatever you feel in a limited word. Don't write a long thesis over there. Nobody's going to read. I suggest that write in a point form. Point 1, point 2, point 3. Maybe it is a small, crispy. It's okay. If they understand that you have a reason. For example, you are from a literature background. Now you want to make literature as your profession. And just being a writer of novel or some short story writer will not give you a bread and butter. I know many people who are so-called Sahityakar, but they don't earn their bread and butter out of that. So you want to make your passion into a profession. You studied Hindi literature, you studied English literature, and that's how now you are motivated to become a script writer, for example. So more the honest you are, better it is for you to make an impression. And as I said, it should be a unique description, not the copy paste from Google from here and there. Why you want to become a director? 20 people have 20 reasons. But your reason could be different from anywhere. So there's no harm as such in Google cut and paste. But I would suggest that if you write your own personal story into that statement, it will give a more better impression to them rather than this cut and paste business. Also, they would ask you something called first priority and second priority. When you would be interviewed, suppose you are from Calcutta and you are going to be interviewed in SRFTI, and they might ask you which is your first priority, because this time they have done some little different game. In the sense, more or less, the list is same. I'm saying more or less. 1 year course in the FTI has some more number of students. In direction, around 10 more number of students are there. But for 3-year program, more or less 90% is the same. So when they ask you, if you are from Calcutta and you say, I want to go to Pune. So there has to be a reason. There has to be a very specific reason why you wanted to go to FTI Pune and not the SRFTI. For example, if I am from Calcutta, I might be bored for 25 years in my life, or 24 years, watching same Bengalis over there and same city, same people. So I wanted to experience a new city. So Pune will give me a better atmosphere in terms of being a new city. This could be my explanation, for example. Some people have a different explanation. Some people think that the equipment are better over there. Until unless you do not substantiate your answer, of course, choice will be yours if you get selected in both the places. So these are the small things, very important to understand. One thing which I might forget to tell you, that's why I mentioned over here, do watch some short films. I am recommending 4 short films to all of you, because there is quite a probability they might screen that film for you, because they are shorter film, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and would ask you to, I would say, prepare your understanding of film appreciation. So these are the short film, like Zoo is one. Then there's a film called Glass. Both the films are directed by Bert Hanstra. Bert Hanstra is a very reputed documentary filmmaker from Holland, and they don't have a dialogue. So these are the 2 cult films which are considered. Then there's another film called Incident at the Owl Creek, again based on a short story by American author, and that's also don't have a dialogue or something like that. So these are 3 films. Indian short film which I would recommend you to watch, which has a very, very high probability to be screened in FTI, is called Bypass by Amit Kumar. This film has a Nawazuddin Siddiqui and Irfan Khan, and funded by Channel 4. And it is one of my favorite films. I would shoot you the article which I have written about this film in terms of the appreciation, which will give you the idea which are the pointer which you should be ready about to talk about a short film. So these are the 4 short films which I have mentioned over there. You should be able to watch them. You still have a time. Okay.
So what was the third one after Zoo, Glass, and?
I'll just repeat again. One is called Zoo, चिड़ियाघर जिसको आप बोलते हैं हिंदी में. Glass. It is directed by Bert Hanstra. Bert Hanstra is a filmmaker from Holland, obviously not alive anymore. Incident at the Owl Creek is again a French production, most probably, and it's based on an American story. All films are silent film. They doesn't have a dialogue, any kind of a dialogue at all. And Bypass is also more or less silent. More or less means maybe one dialogue or something like that. Not even one, I would say. And is a 15-minute long film, which is very interesting. There are at least 50 points in a 15-minute film. 50 points to understand or to talk about in a 15-minute Indian film I have not seen very often. So this is one of the rare, exceptionally brilliant film directed by a FTI graduate himself. So these are the basic thing. I would like to take up a questions right now, because obviously we will also be talking in a domain-specific section. But here I can take up, because these questions could be helpful for other students also. So you can start. I'll just read some questions which people have mentioned over here. We need written SOP for orientation. I think you must have received so far from the SRFTI the what you are supposed to write and what you're supposed to load over there and things like that. So I think statement of purpose is something which is need to be right by most of the courses, I would say. Will the audition be conducted online? So far, the information says it is online, but I am not sure about the acting one, because it could be possibly offline also. I'm not sure, but till you get the details, so far as their merit list is concerned, there they have mentioned that it is an online thing. So that's another thing. So one by one, you can raise your hand and start asking a question. Then I would discuss something else also. But meanwhile, you could quickly ask some questions if you have one. Yeah, Utpal Kant, boliye.
Yes, sir. Actually, I wanted to ask about the introduction. Like, how much weightage should we put on the academic qualifications, and how much weightage should we give to the domain-specific things?
देखिए, academic qualification का मतलब है सब लोग बराबर हो. That's what I'm again telling. Now, all your academic qualification has no particular value. I am a graduate from BSc, somebody is a graduate from BFA, for example, and we both are competing for the cinematography course. Now, one student who is from BFA, obviously his sense of aesthetic would be little better than me, but it does not mean that my aesthetic sense of composition and lighting and color could be inferior. He is a good painter because because he specializes in that. So he could be a good painter, could be a sculptor, but this course is not about painting and sculpting, by the way. And somebody is from, for example, some other background, commercial art background. So obviously he could draw things better and all, but it does not put me into the shade as a candidate. So your academic qualification, honestly speaking, has no value, whatever you have done. Almost it has a no value, I would say. What value is what you speak? Do you know what you're talking about? Or you are talking in some air? That will count. So whenever they are talking about you, there will be an individual interaction also. Remember, there will be a group interactions and there will be an individual interaction. During the individual interaction, you would be given 20 to 30 minutes, every student. And in that 20 to 30 minutes, your impression will count much more than some group exercises or things they will ask you to write or things they will ask you to appreciate or things they will ask you to interpret. Could be a painting, could be a photograph, could be image, any kind of image, maybe a cartoon, for example. Very often I use a Amul cartoon to evaluate people's intelligence. Very often. Because that is a very tricky cartoon. Amul's ad, which has a lot of, it's connected with Bollywood. I have also, those people who have bought the book and physical book in the 2020 edition, I have used that cartoon to interpret over there. So that's my way. That is the one I'm just talking about. They could have a different also. Hanji, next कौन है? Aditya P. बोलिए.
Sir, do I need to compile all the videos into one? And
as I said, that the total duration should not be more than 5 minutes. Okay. Suppose I am an actor. I have acted in 4 productions, for example. My role could be 20 minutes here, 10 minutes in something else, and maybe 20 minutes somewhere else, and 10 minutes somewhere else. So I will choose the best of the part, which represent my best of the capabilities. I will edit them, condense them into a 5 minute, not more than 5 minutes. That is my advice. Though you can make it a 10 minute also. 5 minutes is a nice ideal duration.
Sir, and what about photographs and writing? Do I need to compile the whole?
It depends upon what they are asking. Again, say for example, photograph. Suppose I'm just giving an example of photograph. So you could choose the 5 best of your photograph. That's it.
So I mean,
it is a sample they are looking at, which means if you need to check your sense of composition, I can check that with a 5 photograph also. If I need to check your lighting sense, I could figure it out even a single photograph also.
Yes. Yes.
So it is not a game of quantity. It is a game of a quality.
Yes. So one last question.
Yeah.
Do I need to compile whole into single portfolio?
That you need to figure it out, whether it is a PDF file of photographs, for example, or if it is a shoot, if you have done some small shoot of a video, you could make a video portfolio also 5 minutes, or you could make a PPT also, you could make a PDF file also, depend upon what are the requirements they are asking you. So check the requirement and accordingly you work around. If they're asking a video, you can compile a video. If they're asking, or you can also send a PDF file or maybe a JPEG file. Yes. Depend upon what they ask.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah, that's a very important thing is the resolution, because if you convert into a PDF file, the photograph sometimes becomes a little heavy file. So check the total size of the file which they are asking you to load, and accordingly you can compress them, but they should not be very, very low resolution kind of a thing where you could not figure it out. Ideally speaking, if it is a PPT, is fine because it will be seen through a transmitted light, but if it is a PDF file, then obviously it's a different way to look at it. So just check out their specification. That would be the thing. Okay. Yes. Anybody? Siddhant Singh. Siddhant Singh, boliye.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I just want to extend on what Aditya asked. I have a few short films under me. All of them are 5 to 7 minutes each. So within the portfolio, should I submit one film or the best parts of all the 3 films compiled into 5 minutes? What would make more sense?
I would say one good film is better than 5 compilations. One good film,
okay.
That is my best of the thing. I would say one good film is better. And because that, see, what they're looking at is, for example, as a director, your shot-taking sense, your sense of actor handling, your sense of choosing the location, your sense of editing, your sense of music. So they are checking your sense. May not be as a great cinema where went to Cannes and some 200 festival. Right. No, they're not.
Right.
They're just interested in your sense of composition, lighting, actor handling, music, editing, that you can easily figure it out from a 3-minute film or a 4-minute film. Not necessarily 5 films. If you have done it, you have to have a compilation of 5. No, I would suggest choose 1 film. That's enough. Okay.
I had another query, sir. Like, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, so I think I'm one of the few people who was not selected for SRFTI, but I was listed for FTII.
Very good.
So I have not been given the guidelines that have been already extended to
Wait,
SRFTI.
it will be coming to you. Don't expect them to behave like a corporate sector. They are sarkari people. Once they wake up, and most of the time they sleep. Okay, and I can prove my statement. So they would do it, and they have a timeline which they may not have displayed on the website, but yes, you will get it in a time soon. Within a week's time, you will get it in a week's time. So
sure, sir.
You need to
thank
wait.
you so much.
Okay, next. Okay, Saurabh Yadav.
Sir, is it mandatory to fill out the portfolio for acting students?
अभी वो बोलेंगे आपको, अभी आपको बोलेंगे, वो प्रिपेयर करके वहां जब आप गाइडलाइन पढ़ेंगे, हम एक्टिंग की क्लास में ये सब बातें करेंगे. वो 2 ऑडिशन देते हैं आपको, एक आपको खुद का प्रिपेयर करना होता है, एक वो टेक्स्ट देते हैं आपको, हिंदी और अंग्रेजी, गर्ल्स के लिए अलग होता है, बॉयज के लिए अलग होता है. तो there is a mechanism in place, but yes, portfolio is something which they would.
Sir, I had worked as a junior artist in the film shot being in Lucknow, and I have no videos of it. But
doesn't
I
matter, forget about it. Not necessarily it is required. वहां पर आपकी exercises दी जाएंगी आपको, solo performance आपसे करवाया जाएगा, वो they will evaluate on the basis of that. Even if you don't have a portfolio, does not matter at all. Okay, without portfolio also it is equally good. You as a person for a particular profession are suitable or not, that is what they are going to check. Maybe you would not have acted in a short film, maybe you would do it in future, but it does not matter. Okay, सौरभ यादव हो गया. आइए अब तरजानी भादा. तरजानी, हाँ जी तरजानी बोलिए.
Hello sir, good afternoon. So I wanted to ask that I have applied for art direction and production design field. So when they'll be during the orientation, will they be asking us to sketch some things or not?
We will discuss that specifically for you people. I have not scheduled the 1-hour class for you people. I will schedule that and I will discuss with that.
Okay, thank you.
Redmi, ये Redmi कौन है भाई? मोहित बोलिए.
Hello sir, good afternoon. I just wanted to ask कि sir interview और orientation के बाद में certain number of people will be selected for audition या फिर एक साथ पूरा selection होगा? What will be the procedure?
कौन से कोर्स के लिए?
Acting.
एक्टिंग का 2 लेवल है फिल्ट्रेशन का. फिल्ट्रेशन नंबर 1 जिसमें आपका एक दिन के अंदर, जो पहले ऑफलाइन होता था, एक दिन एनएसडी एफटीआई बुलाते थे, उसमें आपको 15 से 20 मिनट का टाइम दिया जाता था, उसमें एक ऑडिशन आप प्रिपेयर करके आते थे. उनका जो दिया हुआ ऑडिशन है वो प्रिपेयर करके आते थे. एक ऑडिशन आप खुद अपना चूज करते हैं, अपनी मर्जी से कुछ भी चूज कर सकते हैं 5 मिनट का. वो 2 ऑडिशन जो है आप परफॉर्म करते हैं वहां पे, उसके बेसिस पे, और 5 मिनट कुछ पूछा जा सकता है आपसे. 20 मिनट के अंदर वो लोग डिसाइड करते हैं कि इस आदमी को रखना है सेकंड राउंड के लिए या नहीं रखना है. 75 में से 35 लोग शॉर्टलिस्टेड होते हैं फाइनल राउंड के लिए. दिस इज द प्रैक्टिस फॉर लास्ट 3 जेट so far.
Okay, so there will be 35 people which will be selected.
Final round for 5 days in FTI. Right now it will be a 1-day audition first, and then they might club it together also. I don't know what is their plan of action, but normally it is 1-day audition first, then they filter out the 35 people, and then they would ask them to do certain exercises. That was a previous edition. I would try to interview someone who was shortlisted last year when the audition happened on a online. I would try to interview that person because you still have a time for that. So give me 3-4 days time. I would figure it out, and I will not load that video immediately for public, but I would send it to you people so that you could watch it.
Okay, thank you sir.
हाँ जी, ये हो गया.
Sir, how?
हाँ जी.
Excuse me, sir.
हाँ जी बोलिए.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, how I start preparation for audition? I mean, what is the beginning steps I should take?
देखिए, ऐसा कोई रूल रेगुलेशन नहीं है यहाँ पर कि किस तरीके से प्रिपरेशन की जाए, और अभी प्रिपरेशन का टाइम भी नहीं है. बट उसमें क्या है कि जो भी चीज आप बोलेंगे, मान लीजिए आपने कुछ, आपसे पूछा गया कि किसी से पूछा जा सकता है कि विच इज योर फेवरेट डायरेक्टर. आपने बोला फेडरिको फेलिनी फॉर एग्जांपल, और जोनो गोदार. आपने बोला अच्छा कौन सी फिल्म बहुत अच्छी लगती है, आपने बोला कंटेम्प, ब्रिजी बार्डो का फिल्म कंटेम्प बहुत अच्छा. Specifically pinpoint in the film what exactly you like in terms of performance, could be shot taking, could be lighting, could be anything. अब आपको narrow down किया, it is a narrow down the whole game. So then your choice of scene, your choice of talking about the performance, your choice of talking about something which is visual, talking about anything would reflect your intelligence. जैसे उसके अंदर गुदार की फिल्म कंटेम्प के अंदर एक जोक है, इट इज सपोज टू बी जोक, वो रामकृष्ण परमहंस की ये कहानी उसने सुना दिया और आधे लोगों को पल्ले नहीं पड़ती है, क्या क्या, क्या चक्कर है वो रामकृष्ण परमहंस की कहानी, व्हाई कोटेड दैट कहानी. इट टुक मी सम टाइम टू मेडिटेट ओवर इट एंड अगेन थिंक अबाउट इट एंड देन आई कम टू कंक्लूजन आफ्टर कपल ऑफ डेज कि अरे ये चक्कर. यू गॉट माय पॉइंट. तो आप जो भी कुछ बोल रहे हैं, यू शुड बी थोरो विद दैट, and that is what they are looking at it. See, they are not looking how brilliant you are in terms of the information. वो आपका पहले information level check हो चुका है, ठीक है. अब वो क्या है, they are looking how deep you know about something, anything. You may not have read 200 novels or 100 stories, maybe 5 story आपने पढ़ी है, but आपको पकड़ है उस story, आपको उस story की समझ है, उसमें क्या गड़बड़ है, क्या अच्छा है. You got my point? So that is what they are looking at. That they are looking your point of view. They are looking your perspective. Irrespective of the fact, what other things, it doesn't matter. जैसे क्या है, कहावत है, power brings the corruption. Power brings the corruption. I would say it is the corrupt people who are attached to the power. If I am powerful, if I am not corrupt, how does it matter to me? Power doesn't affect me. But if I am corrupt and if I am attached to the power, I would try to manipulate things. So my perception is, it is not the power which brings the corruption, but it is the corrupt people who are attached to the power. So that is my perspective. Not necessarily, it may be your perspective. So it depends from person to person. What they are interested in is your point of view. एक बिल्डिंग को अगर फोटोग्राफ करने के लिए बोला जाए 10 लोगों को, तो 10 अलग अलग तरीके से फोटोग्राफ होगा. All 10 may be brilliant, all 10 may be nonsense. So your perspective is what they are looking at it, whether it appeals to them or not. I know one girl called Aditi Sinha, for example, very intelligent girl, very intelligent girl. She was not shortlisted for SRFTI, by the way, and she was shortlisted for FTI. So how do you know? How do you know? If somebody is being rejected by SRFTI, does not mean FTI people found her very intelligent. Even I believe that it's a loss of SRFTI not to have a girl like that. It was a value addition for FTI to choose a girl like that. So it is individual people who are interviewing them, and it is their perception. So you cannot say what is that. Okay, Pujitha, हाँ जी, आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं? इसमें लिखा है कुछ. Sir, I think you mean an occurrence at, हाँ उसका अलग अलग नाम है, इंसिडेंट आउल क्रीक, occurrence at आउल क्रीक, रॉबर्ट एनरिको का फिल्म है, करेक्ट. I would suggest keep one in Behance your portfolio, and a PDF file required print as PDF won't be compressed. वो डिपेंड करता है वो क्या चाह रहे हैं. वहां पर आप PDF कर सकते हैं. PDF को भी अलग अलग लेवल ऑफ कंप्रेशन होता है उसके अंदर, जो लोग जानते हैं कैसे कंप्रेस करना है वो. दैट्स हाउ आई डू इट. आई टेक इट इनटू द कोरल ड्रॉ. उसमें से फिर अलग अलग लेवल ऑफ कंप्रेशन जो है चूज कर सकते हैं आप, उसमें से किस लेवल का आपको PDF बनाना है. For direction screenplay, they have mentioned there will be no film screening during orientation as per the slots of interview. Everyone is allocated 20 minutes. Should we still prepare to watch the short film? पूछा तो जा ही सकता है, दिखा नहीं रहे हैं आपको, तो ये तो पूछा जा ही सकता है ना कि भाई आपको कौन सी शॉर्ट फिल्म अच्छी लगी है. अब आप बोलो अरे हमने तो देखा ही नहीं है शॉर्ट फिल्म. तो आप ये नहीं कह सकते, कुछ तो देखा ही होगा, कभी ना कभी कुछ तो देखा ही होगा. So if they ask you which is your favorite short film, then at least if you have seen these 3-4 films which I have mentioned you, they also have seen it because they are analysis film. They know each and every film by shot. So it's a good idea to talk about a film which they have also seen. अब तुम कोई उठा के कहीं हॉलैंड पोलैंड से कोई ऐसी फिल्म ढूंढ के लाओ जो उन्होंने नाम ही नहीं सुना हो, it won't make a sense. So choose a film which they would have also seen. That's why I mentioned these films, because everybody in the interview board in SRFTI, FTI would have seen all these 5 films. So that is my suggestion. Rest you can choose anything. Statement should be in Hindi or English. ये बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. मेरा मानना ये है, ये मेरा परसेप्शन है, बहुत लोगों को इससे प्रॉब्लम होती है इस परसेप्शन से, बट आई एम स्टिल स्टिक टू इट. जैसे ही आप आंसर शीट हिंदी में लिखना चालू करते हैं, इसका एक मतलब है कि आप जो है 12 और 3 15 ग्रेजुएशन, उससे पहले स्कूल, 15 साल तक सोते रहे. आपने जीवन में अंग्रेजी भाषा सीखने का कष्ट नहीं किया, जहमत नहीं की. तो मेरा पहला इंप्रेशन क्या है कि आदमी सो रहा है. हिंदी में लिख रहा है, इसका मतलब सो रहा है. अब आप बोलोगे जब हिंदी में लिख रहा है सो रहा है तो उन्होंने क्यों उसको इंक्लूड किया हुआ हिंदी ऑप्शन को? इट इज देयर कंपल्शन बिकॉज द नेशनल लैंग्वेज देयर हैज टू बी ऑप्शन इंग्लिश वर्सेस हिंदी. इसका कहने के बाद आई वुड ऑल्सो से कि अगर आप ब्रह्मज्ञानी हैं, हिंदी भाषा के ज्ञाता हैं, तो आप हिंदी में भी लिखेंगे तो 4 लाइन पढ़ के जो आदमी पढ़ रहा है उसको समझ आ जाएगा कि आप ज्ञानी हैं या आप एक सोने वाले लोगों में से. सो रहे थे आप लोग, इसलिए आपको इंग्लिश नहीं आती, या आपको हिंदी बहुत अच्छी आती है और आप हिंदी में भी उतना बेहतर तरीके से एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं जितना आप अंग्रेजी में कर सकते हैं. बड़े बड़े राइटर हिंदी बेल्ट के हुए हैं, कभी उन्होंने अंग्रेजी बोली नहीं जीवन में, और वो कल्ट माने जाते हैं, आज भी पढ़े जाते हैं. उनकी टक्कर के लोग पैदा नहीं हुए, तो कोई नुकसान नहीं है उसमें. बट मैं अपना इंप्रेशन आपको बता रहा हूं कि जब कोई आदमी हिंदी में लिखना चालू करता है, इसका मतलब ये आदमी 15 साल से सो रहा था. अब इसमें कोई बहाना नहीं होता कि मैं तो गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में पढ़ने गया. आई ऑल्सो स्टडीड इन गवर्नमेंट स्कूल, राजकीय उच्चतर माध्यमिक बाल विद्यालय द्वितीय पाली. बट मुझे अकल 10वीं क्लास में आ गई थी कि अगर अंग्रेजी नहीं सीखेंगे आप तो जीवन में कुछ नहीं होता. तो लिखने को आप किसी भी लैंग्वेज में लिख सकते हैं, ये आपकी अपनी मर्जी है. हाँ जी, तुषार, हे तुषार, वुड इट बी पॉसिबल फॉर यू टू शेयर वो SRFTI गाइडलाइंस, वो आपस में कर लीजिएगा जिसको जिससे शेयर करना है. व्हाई इज इट ऑनलाइन दिस ईयर? द कोविड हैज calmed down, right? Ask the FTI people. I am not a director of FTI, SRFTI, so I can't answer this. What exactly will be the orientation program focusing on? If you ask me honestly, Isha, you are from art direction, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. तो आर्ट डायरेक्शन बड़ा खतरनाक सब्जेक्ट होता है. आपके लिए 1 घंटे की क्लास में हम बात करेंगे. मेरे पास कुछ 70 किताबें हैं पेंटर्स की, जिसके ऊपर मैंने कम से कम 1 लाख रुपए खर्च किया. जब मैं स्टूडेंट था तो ये सब किताबें मैं लाइब्रेरी में जाके, रेफरेंस बुक, दिल्ली के अंदर एक लाइब्रेरी है ललित कला एकेडमी. ललित कला एकेडमी के अंदर बहुत सारी एक्सपेंसिव किताबें हैं. मैं वहाँ AC में बैठ के इन सब किताबों को देखता था. नाउ सिंस आई एम लिटिल बेटर ऑफ फाइनेंशियली, सो आई कैन बाय, अफोर्ड टू बाय. तो वो लोग दे विल चेक योर सेंस ऑफ आर्ट. अब ये बड़ा खतरनाक शब्द है, सेंस ऑफ आर्ट. खतरनाक इन द सेंस इसमें बहुत कुछ आ जाता है. और वो क्या पूछना चाहते हैं, क्या देखना चाहते हैं. नेचुरली यू आर नॉट ए आर्ट डायरेक्टर सो फार, बट थोड़ा आर्ट के बारे में तो पता होना ही चाहिए. एक पेंटर लोगों के बारे में पता होना चाहिए, एक पेंटिंग महान क्यों है उसके बारे में पता होना चाहिए थोड़ा बहुत. तो वो सब बातें किसी से भी पूछी जा सकती है. आर्ट एक ऐसी चीज है जो हर फील्ड में होता है. एक्टिंग में भी है. एक्टर को पेंटिंग क्यों पढ़नी चाहिए? एक क्वेश्चन था वहां पर पिछले कुछ सालों पहले में कि एक्टर का क्या लेना देना पेंटिंग से. एक्टर का पेंटिंग से क्या लेना देना? बहुत कुछ लेना देना. तो आर्ट जो है, सिनेमेटोग्राफी, डायरेक्शन, साउंड के अंदर भी. साउंड का आपको कई बार लगता होगा कि साउंड तो बड़ा मिक्सर विक्सर, ये सब बटन ये सब चक्करबाजी है, वो सब सीख जाते हैं. बट व्हाट डिस्टिंग्विश ए गुड साउंड डिजाइनर? साउंड डिजाइन का चक्कर चालू हो जाता है, एंड इट इज वेयर योर एस्थेटिक सेंस वुड काउंट. Technically, everybody knows about the buttons of cameras, but not everybody can create a good photograph. So there comes the aesthetic sense. So technology will bring out your aesthetic sense. So you need to understand the technology, but output would be connected with the aesthetic. तो वो कुछ भी जो है आपसे पूछ सकते हैं. अब आपने आर्किटेक्चर की बात की तो मैं आपसे पूछूंगा, ठीक है, आप माय फेवरेट आर्किटेक्ट इज ज़हा हदीदी, जरा उसके बारे में. तो आपने नाम ही नहीं सुना अगर गलती से, आप फंस गए. तो फिर वो आप ही को फंसाएंगे कि अच्छा आप बता दीजिए आपका फेवरेट आर्किटेक्ट कौन है. तो फिर उसके बारे में वो डिस्कस करेंगे कुछ. तो जो देखिए, बड़ा सिंपल फॉर्मूला है. आपको जो भी आता है वो पहले आपसे पूछा जाएगा. वो आपको नाम नहीं देंगे, वो पहले आपको आपके ट्रैप में ही फंसाएंगे. आपने बोला मुझे फणेश्वर नाथ रेणु की कहानियां बहुत अच्छी पसंद है। अच्छा, बहुत अच्छी बात है, जरा बताओ जरा 3 कहानियां जो आपने पढ़ी। आपने बोला मुझे पंचलैट पसंद है, मुझे विदेशिया पसंद है, मुझे ये पसंद है, फिर उसमें से एक के बारे में बात करेंगे। दे विल जीरो इन फ्रॉम, जिससे तुम रिवर्स गियर मार के भाग नहीं सकते। तुमने बोला जहा दीदी तो तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए, तुम फेंक रही हो वहां पे तो उसका कोई मतलब नहीं। तो आपको पहले पूछा जाएगा कि आपको क्या पसंद है, फिर उसमें से फिर धीरे धीरे जीरो इन करके, अभी किसी ने बोला मैं तो थिएटर करता हूँ, थिएटर देखता हूँ, फलाना करता हूँ। अच्छा, कौन सा आदमी पसंद है? अच्छा, मैंने तो उसका नाटक देखा हुआ। अच्छा, बताइए कौन से वाला? So they will figure it out, zero in, narrow it down, whatever you say, and in that they will understand your understanding. That is the game. Simple. वहां पर ये आपने बोल दिया डॉक्टर नीलम मानसिंह चौधरी मुझे पसंद है एज ए डायरेक्टर थिएटर में, बहुत अच्छी बात है। कौन सा प्ले देखा है आपने नीलम मानसिंह चौधरी का? तो पता भी होना चाहिए, फेंक तो दिया आपने, पता भी होना चाहिए थोड़ा सा। तो वो फिर उसी में वो ढूंढ लेंगे आपको कि कुछ अता पता है या आप फेंक रहे हो ऐसी। तो जो भी कुछ आप बोल रहे हैं, you have to be thorough about it, and that is what they are looking at it. They are looking at your intelligence and to some extent, or rather I would say large extent, your imagination power. अब वो imagination power online कैसे चेक करेंगे, वो एक झंझट का काम है, but intelligence पता लग सकता है। intelligence पता करने का तरीका बड़ा सिंपल है, they will easily find it out. हाँ जी, और कुछ, और लोग, कोई आदमी यहाँ पर कुछ पूछना चाह रहा है? Could we speak in both Hindi and English for interview? Yes, but I would say stick to one language. If it is English, let it be English. If it is Hindi, let it be Hindi. You can mix also, there is no rule as such, but I would say stick to one language, and it can't be any regional language. It has to be either Hindi or English. अब वहाँ मलयालम में बोलने लग जाएंगे तो जरूरी नहीं है कि लोगों को वहां पर, हो सकता है कोई आदमी केरला से हो वहां पे, ऐसा होगा, कोई ना कोई होगा, कलकत्ता में बंगाल से लोग होंगे, बट आई वुड सजेस्ट ईदर यूज इंग्लिश और हिंदी बिकॉज एवरीबडी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट। हाँ जी, और कोई आदमी? Any question, any quick question somebody has, you can ask it. We still have a 5-minute time.
Hello, sir. Sir, as I'm from architecture background, so
Okay.
should I be prepared with my architecture portfolio, which I have done for my past 5 years, the works of my college? So should
I would say something which you have applied for which course?
art direction, production design.
तो उसमें क्या है, देखिए जब आप सेट बनाते हैं तो सेट भी एक तरीके की बिल्डिंग होती है, टेम्परेरी बिल्डिंग होती है। तो आपका जो सेंस ऑफ डिजाइन है, सेंस ऑफ स्पेस है, सेंस ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन है, वो सारी चीजें, सेंस तो यहाँ पर आता है। तो उसमें कुछ भी हो सकता है आपका, बट वो इट शुड बी ब्रीफ। वहां पर क्या है, आप लोगों को थोड़ा टाइम मिलेगा आर्ट डायरेक्शन के अंदर। आर्ट डायरेक्शन में जो लोग हैं वो थोड़ा सुलझे हुए लोग हैं, वो अपने तरीके से देख लेंगे आप लोगों को। तो as I said that you could pick up the best of your work, not so much. Again and again, I'm saying not too much. Limited words, limited work, which represent best of you. Volume will not impress them. It is the quality which will impress, not the quantity. आपने अगर 5 ही डिजाइन दिखाए मान लीजिए, तो 5 से भी सेंस पता लग जाएगा कि इसको डिजाइन का सेंस है कि नहीं। चाहे वो आपका जो बिल्डिंग डिजाइन हो सकता है, चाहे कुछ प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन हो सकता है, बिकॉज यू आर फ्रॉम आर्किटेक्चर, तो वो बिल्डिंग डिजाइन ही होगा मोस्ट प्रोबेबली उसमें। तो इट डिपेंड अपॉन व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू डू, बट सेलेक्ट ओनली few things, not so much of thing which you are not able to explain and they are also not able to understand. Lesser the better. This is the formula.
Okay, thank you, sir.
ऑडिशन के लिए एसेंट और डिक्शन पर भी काम करने की जरूरत है।
हाँ जी, दोबारा बोलिए, आवाज नहीं आ रही है आपकी।
सर, ऑडिशन के लिए एसेंट और डिक्शन पर भी काम करने के लिए जरूरत है।
बिल्कुल जरूरत है, बिल्कुल जरूरत है। जब आप हिंदी बोलते हैं तो कोई आदमी ये पहचान ना पाए कि आप जो है किसी पर्टिकुलर रीजन से बिलोंग करते हैं। तो डिक्शन एंड प्रोनाउंसिएशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, बट और उससे ज्यादा और इंपॉर्टेंट भी चीजें हैं। डिक्शन तो चाहिए चाहिए, उच्चारण तो चाहिए चाहिए हिंदी के अंदर, क्योंकि वो नेशनल लेवल का एग्जाम है, 10 सीटें हैं और 75 लोग आ रहे हैं, तो उन्हीं लोगों को प्रेफर किया जाएगा जिसका उच्चारण जो है अच्छा है, हिंदी भाषा अच्छी है, क्योंकि फिल्में तो हिंदी में बननी है। कोई आदमी रीजनल लैंग्वेज का भी हो सकता है, जिसको मान लीजिए हैदराबाद जाके काम करना है, सो ही इज आल्सो कैपेबल एंड सुटेबल टू गेट सेलेक्टेड, तो वो इंग्लिश चूज कर सकता है। इसीलिए दो लैंग्वेज के अंदर आता है, इंग्लिश और हिंदी। इफ यू हैपन्स टू बी फ्रॉम ए रीजनल स्टेट, यू कैन चूज इंग्लिश इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू स्पीक हिंदी, एंड इफ यू आर फ्रॉम ए नॉर्थ इंडिया Hindi belt, you can choose the Hindi also. Hindi is much more better if you are not from regional level student. Hindi is much more better option, I would say. Even if you are from north, for example, I would say Hindi would impress better than the English one. So if I have a choice between Hindi versus English, I would choose Hindi. Here, I would choose Hindi. When it need to pick up a piece for a performance, I would choose Hindi, not English, even if I am good at English, because the impression which you can create through a Hindi performance would be much more powerful than the English one. Not everybody is able to convey the feeling in English better than the Hindi.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, would it be a good idea to mention films of Wes Anderson in an interview, or would it be too mainstream?
देखिए, उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है। आपको कुछ भी पसंद है, उसके बारे में आपको वो क्यों पसंद है वो इंपॉर्टेंट है। ऐसा नहीं कि आप SRFTI जा रहे हो तो रे का ही फिल्म बोलोगे तभी वो लोग इंप्रेस हो जाएंगे, नहीं। आप कुछ भी बोलिए, ऐसा जो उनको भी पता हो। आप ऐसा आदमी मत ढूंढ के ले आओ कहीं से, स्विट्जरलैंड का डायरेक्टर जो कभी किसी ने नाम ही ना सुना हो। ऐसा आदमी जिसका नाम उन्होंने भी सुना हो और थोड़ा सा वो पॉपुलर भी रहा हो नाम, और वो फिल्म भी पता हो लोगों को। तो नॉर्मली क्या करते हैं लोग, हॉलीवुड चूज कर लेते हैं, कोई आर्ट हाउस चूज कर लेता है, कोई मान लीजिए कोई केरला से है, उसको लगता है जी अरविंदन की फिल्में बहुत अच्छी हैं, किसी को लगता है शाहजियन करुण की फिल्में बहुत अच्छी हैं। तो आप कोई भी आर्ट हाउस नाम लेंगे, ये सारे जो है वो उन लोगों को मालूम है, उन्होंने देखा होगा कभी ना कभी। हो सकता है सब फिल्में ना देखा हो, बट देखा होगा। तो उसमें वेस एंडरसन वर्सेस इंडियन विल नॉट मैटर, कमर्शियल वर्सेस आर्ट विल नॉट मैटर। आपकी समझ क्या है, दैट इज व्हाट दे आर इंटरेस्टेड। हो सकता है कोई आदमी बोले मुझे यश चोपड़ा पसंद है, भाई समझाओ जरा यश चोपड़ा क्यों पसंद है तुमको, क्या है ऐसा यश चोपड़ा के अंदर। हो सकता है आपका आंसर ऐसा हो जो उनको लगे हाँ यार ये बात तो हमने नोटिस ही नहीं की कभी। सो जो भी आप चूज कर रहे हो उसके अंदर बहुत स्पेसिफिक पिन पॉइंट फॉर्म में आंसर होना चाहिए। लोग क्या है, बीटिंग अराउंड द बुश, एक इंग्लिश में फ्रेज होता है, घुमा फिरा के इधर उधर कुछ, वो सब नहीं चाहिए। 2 + 2 = 4, simple mathematics. You have to be pinpoint. A, B, C. These are my reasons, and that's why I believe in it. अब आपने बोला कि मुझे मान लीजिए विशाल भारद्वाज बहुत पसंद है, बहुत अच्छी बात है। कौन सी फिल्म पसंद है? 7 खून माफ, बहुत अच्छी बात है। एक सीन बताइए आप उस फिल्म का जिसमें आपको लगता है कि विशाल भारद्वाज ही डायरेक्ट कर सकता है और कोई नहीं कर सकता, बताइए। तो आपने एक पर्टिकुलर सीन जो आपको बहुत पसंद है वो आपने डिस्क्राइब किया, और क्यों है उसमें, क्या खेल है ऐसा, वो आपने बताया। सो यू हाईलाइटेड समथिंग in a very specific manner. So talk in a manner which is very more specific rather than beating around the bush. Lighting बहुत अच्छी है, no. What is there which is nice in it? You have to talk about that rather than not in a generic language. बहुत मजा आया, मजा क्या आया, क्या था उसमें जिसकी वजह से आपको मजा आया। तो you have to be very very specific in your answer. That is what going to impress them. This is my perception. More the specific you are, better your chances are.
सर बस यही कंफर्म कर रहा था कि वेस एंडरसन इज अ नेम जो उन्होंने सुना होगा या जिसके बारे में बात।
बिल्कुल सुना होगा वेस एंडरसन। दरभंगा मोतिहारी से मैं कहीं गांव में के लोग नहीं है वो, और सब पता है उन लोगों को। तुम्हें वेस एंडरसन पता है तो उनको भी पता है।
जी सर।
और नेक्स्ट
सर, around how much time for audition, I mean according to
देखिए
you?
20 मिनट के करीब टाइम मिलेगा आप लोगों को। 20 मिनट में खेल करना पड़ेगा। फर्स्ट राउंड और सेकंड राउंड अगर आपकी बार है तो, और कलेक्टिव है तो बात खत्म हो गई। अगर वो कलेक्टिवली बुला रहे हैं तो खेल खत्म है। और फर्स्ट राउंड और सेकंड राउंड का फिल्ट्रेशन का तरीका है उनका। तो फर्स्ट राउंड में 20 मिनट मिलता है, पहला ये ट्रेडिशन रहा है। अब का वो क्या ट्रेडिशन है आई कांट रियली से, बट प्रीवियसली इट यूज्ड टू बी लाइक दैट। तो अभी थोड़ा उनका वो आने दो, क्या बोलते हैं, डेट्स वगैरह, तो उसमें बहुत क्लियर कट तरीके से लिखा होगा, उसको ध्यान से पढ़िएगा तो आपको समझ आएगा। उसको रीड
सर इतना कम समय में सर अभी कैसे कुछ प्रिपरेशन करें, मतलब कुछ
कम समय का क्या मतलब हुआ आपको पता है? दिसंबर में एग्जाम हुआ था,
जी
दिसंबर के बाद जनवरी, फरवरी, मार्च, अप्रैल, मई, 5 महीने से क्या कर रहे थे आप? सो रहे थे? कम समय क्या है? 5 महीने दिए ना आपको। क्या आप वेट करोगे जब मेरा ऑडिशन का लिस्ट आएगा उसी दिन मैं प्रिपरेशन चालू करूंगा? ऐसा तो नहीं है। 5 महीने से आप क्या कर रहे थे? 5 महीने पहले भी आपको पता होगा ना एग्जाम देने के बाद कि अगर मैं सेलेक्ट हो गया तो ये सब काम होगा। तो 5 महीने तो आप सोते रहे, अब आप जागे हैं, तो उसका कोई मतलब नहीं है। दे हैव गिवन यू 5 months, इट इज नॉट दैट दे हैव जस्ट टोल्ड यू आफ्टर एग्जाम कह रहे कल से आपका ऑडिशन होगा। 5 महीने का टाइम था ना आपके पास, तो आपने प्रिपेयर किया होगा, आपने पता किया होगा पहले पिछले साल क्या होता था। यू हैड ए टाइम, इट्स नॉट दैट यू डिडंट हैव ए टाइम। प्रिपरेशन नहीं की है वो एक अलग बात। चलिए
सर,
next. हाँ जी बोलिए।
सर
बोलिए।
सर जैसे जो फिल्म थ्योरी की अगर कोई बुक्स पढ़ी हो जेम्स मोनाको की और ये सब मेंशन करना एडवाइजेबल है या फिर ये लाइक बैकफुट पे
पता होना चाहिए, इतनी मोटी किताब है जेम्स मोनाको।
हाँ सर।
पढ़ी है या वैसे झूठ मूठ में नाम सुन लिया है, बात खत्म। पढ़ी है तभी बोलना, नहीं पढ़ी तो मत बोल।
ओके सर।
पढ़ा ही नहीं है जेम्स मोनाको, तुमने नाम सुन लिया। मैं बहुत लोगों को जानता हूँ, नाम सुना है जेम्स मोनाको, 4 पेज पढ़े भी होंगे शायद या 10 पेज पढ़े होंगे, बट 300 पेज की किताब वास्तव में पढ़ी है आपने क्या? पढ़ी नहीं है तो क्यों फेंक रहे हो वहां पे जेम्स मोनाको? नहीं, मैं बोल रहा हूँ बार बार, फेंकने की जरूरत नहीं है। अगर आपने नहीं पढ़ा, आपने नाम ले दिया आंद्रे बजा व्हाट इज सिनेमा, पढ़ा है तुमने वॉल्यूम 1 वॉल्यूम 2 उसका? ये नाम सुन लिया कहीं से बस इधर उधर से, या विकिपीडिया में कोई थोड़ा सा सिनॉप्सिस पढ़ लिया है कुछ। किताब पढ़ी है कि नहीं पढ़ी है बताइए आप। अगर पढ़ी है तो उनको पता लग जाएगा, वहां पे कोई ना कोई आदमी बैठा होगा जिसने पढ़ी होगी। ऐसा नहीं है कि वो सुपरफिशियल लेवल पे चल रहा है। 25 साल हो गए उन लोगों को ये सब करते हुए, तो फेंक नहीं सकते आप, पकड़ में आ जाओगे 2 मिनट के अंदर। हाँ जी, और कोई?
Excuse me, sir.
हाँ जी बोलिए।
Sir, there was practical exercise like clicking photos and this during offline orientation. So, what will be the alternative for online?
देखिए वो मुझे पता नहीं है, बट वो भी हो सकता है। आपको बोला गया कि ठीक है, अब आप मान लीजिए अभी 1:05 हो रहा है, तो आपको बोला गया ठीक है, आप आपके पास जो है कल जो है अपना कैमरा तैयार रखिएगा, अपना मोबाइल जो है, और उससे जो है आपसे फोटोग्राफ खिंचवाएंगे। टॉपिक इतने बजे बताया जाएगा, उसके बाद वो जब आके खींच के वो सारे फोटोग्राफ आप जो है इतने बजे लोड कर देंगे। देखो उसमें धोखाधड़ी करने की कोशिश करनी भी नहीं चाहिए, और बड़ा मुश्किल भी हो जाएगा करना। फंस जाओगे, पकड़े जाओगे तो दिक्कत हो जाएगी। तो लोग पूछ लेते हैं, पता कर लेते हैं, ये क्यों किया तुमने, ऐसा क्या है इसमें, बहुत सी चीजें होती हैं। तो आप ईमानदारी से वो प्रैक्टिकली तो करवा के देखेंगे, ऐसी बात नहीं है। सिनेमाटोग्राफी में तो पक्का होगा, पक्का आपसे जो है कुछ फोटोग्राफ खिंचवाए जाएंगे, हो सकता है वीडियो भी खिंचवा लें आपसे, कैमरा एडिट करवा लें। वो सिनेमाटोग्राफी वाली क्लास में बात करेंगे। अभी जनरल बात कर रहा हूं मैं, जो सब लोगों के लिए बेनिफिशियल होगी। तो इट्स लाइक दैट।
Okay. Okay.
सर स्क्रीन राइटिंग की क्लास कब है?
हाँ जी,
स्क्रीन राइटिंग की क्लास कब स्केड्यूल है?
हाँ अभी जो 2 बजे क्लास है वो डायरेक्शन स्क्रीन पे दोनों का मिला के है।
तो like if I'm from particularly screenwriting, I can join that session.
यस यस,
Thank
आपको लिंक भेजा गया होगा, देखिए आप अपना लिंक जाके।
हेलो सर।
जिसको लिंक नहीं मिला है वो 2 बजने में 5 मिनट पे करेगा, 2 बजने में 10 मिनट पे। 2:01 पे कोई आदमी बोलेगा मुझे लिंक नहीं मिला, उसको लिंक नहीं मिलने वाला है। हाँ जी।
हेलो सर। सर जैसे कि मेरा जस्ट yesterday only I completed my 10th semester in architecture, so I have a time to get my results of the final semester. So
अक्टूबर के बाद सेशन चालू होगा, उससे पहले अभी अगस्त से पहले रिजल्ट नहीं निकलने वाला है। जब आपको, अगर आप अगस्त तक आपका रिजल्ट आ जाएगा, अगस्त तक रिजल्ट आ जाएगा,
so it won't affect during my orientation and interview.
नहीं, डजंट मैटर। वो जब आप सेलेक्ट हो जाएंगे, मेरिट लिस्ट निकल आएगी, उसके बाद जब डॉक्यूमेंट सबमिट करने पड़ेंगे तब वो सब चीजें चेक होंगी, अभी नहीं।
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, gentlemen, I hope it was beneficial, but those who could not, there is another 1 hour which will be domain specific. I would only person with whom I have not mentioned the schedule is art direction. So we have 4 students for that, 3 or 4 students. So I'll send them the schedule for that. But rest of the people I have already mentioned. So 2 o'clock onward, screenplay and direction, and some people who are from producing also, they could be also part of it. I have also sent the link to them also, because they also need to understand a little bit about direction thing. So make sure that you are also part of it. Though for producing only, there will be a class for that. Yeah. बोलिए
सर। आप रिकॉर्डिंग भेज सकते हैं अभी, क्योंकि लैग हो रहा था इंटरनेट, तो काफी चीजें मिस हो गई। तो अभी आप रिकॉर्डिंग हैंड टू हैंड भेज सकते हैं।
देखिए ये क्या है, फिर वो डोमेन स्पेसिफिक इधर उधर नहीं चली जानी चाहिए रिकॉर्डिंग, ये ध्यान रखिए।
जी सर, पर ये जनरल वाली
पब्लिक डोमेन में लिस्ट, ये पब्लिक लिस्टिंग नहीं होगी इस रिकॉर्डिंग का। इसका वो जो अनलिस्टेड जो वाला जो रिकॉर्डिंग है ये यूट्यूब पे वो लगेगा, वो मैं आपको भेज सकता हूँ।
सर ये जनरल वाली आप रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं भेज सकते?
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ, जनरल वाला रिकॉर्डिंग आप लोगों को मैं भेज सकता हूँ, बट ये पब्लिक डोमेन में इधर उधर आप पोस्ट नहीं करेंगे। अगर आप करेंगे तो मूर्खता है आपकी, आप अपना कंपटीशन बढ़ा रहे हैं। ठीक है
जी सर, ओके।
हाँ नहीं करेंगे सर, नहीं करेंगे।
चलिए, लोग 1000 रुपए बचा रहे हैं, अपने बचाने दो, अच्छी बात है। हाँ जी बोलिए।
Sir, I had a question. For art direction and production design, is it necessary to have knowledge about other domains as well, like basic knowledge about cinematography, screenplay?
नॉट रियली, बट कुछ चीजें कॉमन है, जैसे कलर स्कीम का कॉमन है, प्राइमरी सेकेंडरी कलर्स के बारे में बात की जा सकती है, वो सब मैं डिस्कस करूंगा आपसे आपके डोमेन स्पेसिफिक वाले से। नॉट
Yes.
बट जो बेसिक चीजें हैं जो आर्ट डायरेक्शन में, जैसे कलर है, कलर स्कीम है, प्राइमरी कलर, सेकेंडरी कलर, पिगमेंट और कलर्स के अंदर क्या फर्क है, ये सब चीजें पूछ सकते हैं। एडिटिव कलर, एक्टिव कलर क्या है, वो सब चीजें जो है आपको पता होगा। ठीक है,
Okay, sir.
ओके, so I'm stopping this